What is mean by quality management? You know the quality word itself. But in IT, we call it as unit management. Okay, unit level testing, unit level assessment. That is, there is no point in I actually start doing quality process at the end. So have I checked the material which came in, the quality of material, raw material which I am going to use? Have I checked in the first batch of it or samples of every batch so that there is no problem at the later stage? Or if at all there is a problem, I should be able to separate them out because I have a batch wise result. So everything has to be done systematically. Do we have a tangible, well-defined quality parameters which are really so I cannot say it should smell excellent. You know, it should have a good texture. So people say, look, I don't understand this language. Why? Because it is not measurable. It is dependent on somebody. So we want something which is measurable, okay, which is tangible, which I can evaluate and I can say, no, this is not the color which we were expecting. This is a color which is little dull, which is not bright, XYZ, Joby, whatever, you know, your comments are. But that's something which is there. Another issue is about the, you know, the quality also need to be done functionality wise. A lot of time people say that it's okay. Like I created something for a heart operation. Okay. And I said, I tested, I quality is best and this and all, but people say, look, that doesn't, you know, allow you to sell. We need to do some human trials. We need to have some scenarios where this should be applied. So do we have that kind? And then we'll check the quality, whether it is working in that kind of situation, which might be simulated, which might be created. So quality has to be done in all the respect. One is at the unit level. Second is at every stage. There has to be a milestones. Then we should also have something what is known as a third-party quality testing. Okay, let's talk about the content which is closer to your heart. So I remember, you know, I was debating with the ma'am sometimes early, I mean, almost 15 years back, how we evaluate the content. You know, we develop, we feel very happy and, you know, very proud about it. We always feel better than what it was earlier. But does that make us, you know, successful in a sense that saying that, yeah, you develop a great content? So that time there was a model which was evolved that we should give this content not more than 30 minutes at any given point of time, because that's a digestion, volume which we have thought of. And then if we are given it to the 100 student, 80% of that should pass the entry test or pre-test and post-test with 100% of mark. Then the contents are approved. Do you understand me? So we have a same test which is considered as a pre-test and which is considered as a post-test based on the content which I'm going to show. And all the, out of 100 students, suppose 100 students are there, out of that 80 must score 100 marks. Then only it makes sense that the content is good. Content, whatever the objectives we define, that he should learn this and he should learn that, it is all happening. So that is a kind of, you know, quality assessment which one should do. So quality assessment will also have a case studies, will also have a samples, so that why it is required? Because there the quality is not the finish of audio or finish of video. Quality of e-content is impact onto the learner. So can we evaluate that kind of quality? And if we want to evaluate, do you have a numbers which are tangible, which can be measured? And we did this. I mean, we did it for many content which we developed. And we really found that I'm very happy to tell you that in most of the cases are 80% of students, even in my opinion, I think most of the time 90% of the students score more than 100% of, I mean 100% touch. Because that was a situation which was really exciting. And next is resource management. When I say resource management, resource means, again, we have to know we have to identify them, we have to arrange them, we have to acquire them, and we have to manage them. When I say resources, it might be raw material, it might be people, it might be machinery, it might be, you know, platform, it might be scenario. Everything is resource because it costs. Everything is important because everything is, is a part of the material, is a part of the project cost. So resource management is, as you know, in industry there is a very famous software which is known as enterprise resource management. So what is this? What they do? All their processes, their production really push in appropriate time that what resources are required tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after 1 month, after 1 year. That all planning goes, and then the bulk orders are being defined, the rate contracts are being done, the delivery schedules of materials are being identified, and then this really works flawlessly. Look at to the, I will give you one, funny example, funny in a sense because it's very old, so you may not, appreciate that much, but it is an example of Toyota, which is, which is in Japan. So there's a gentleman went to Toyota, and they were just discussing about this inventory. And so any material comes into a Toyota factory in Japan, how much time it takes to get onto actually a final machine which will be delivered. And almost 20 years back, this time was 27 minutes. Whereas in India, this time was almost 1.5 years. So 1.5 years is a big time. So the inventory cost is on me. Whatever money goes in, there is an interest of 1.5 years onto that. Then that line, then the space, then the management, and everything adds to the cost. So whatever efforts I do, I will never be able to compete with them because I don't have that kind of cost advantage. And that is something which is really, really important, and that is what we call the resource management. So when I say resource, every raw material, everything, in our case, it might be a script, it might be a storyboard, it might be an artist, it might be a voice files, okay, it might be a review kits, anything. But do we know exactly what is the situation? Where are they? Who are going to do it? Are there a people? Do we have enough time for them to review? Do we have enough buffer time so that if they got delayed, then what next? Do we have a pipeline which is filled up with little plus so that any 1 day delay or 2 day delay can be managed with an existing content? All this is known as resource management. Why this is resource management? Because seeing that we are paying to the people and they are remaining underutilized is also a waste of resources. Because we have lost the money. This gentleman or the girl who is going to work onto this, she says, I have come here to work, but you don't have work. So that doesn't mean that you don't have work, so I cannot take salary. No, I need salary. And even tomorrow you give me a salary, it doesn't mean that I got, instead of 8 hours or 10 hours of working, I got 20 hours of working. So resource, using me as a resource is your challenge, not my challenge. Give me a task, I will complete. So every member of the team is to be done. Now this is a new things which are added, like communication management. Now I wanted you to attend, keep your attention that communication is just not saying something to somebody. It is properly documented and told to each and individual who is stakeholder into that particular process or project at appropriate time and appropriate part of the communication. My stakeholder need not know. See, every project will have challenges. Will you share that challenges with the end customer? No, because end customer will get frightened and he will say, boss, every day you have problems. So I may not be able to communicate to that, but this frequency might be very high. The frequency with talking to an end customer might be low. The matter which I need to communicate to the outside world is completely different. Different in a sense, I'm not saying it is manipulated, but the part of that is told. Like I have my own problems, but I need not tell it to the customer because it has got nothing to do with it. What he wants will be delivered to him within the budget and within the time. How I manage it with my resources is my call. Okay, so communication management is not simple because there are so many people which I will describe in short time from now. So there are different people who are involved into the projects. So everybody need to be kept on the same page. Okay, that doesn't mean that everybody will have all the information shared with everybody. No, on that particular page, there is some information for stakeholders, some information for seniors, some information for junior, some information for marketing, some for project manager, and some for worker. It may not be same. Okay, but it is important. So sometimes over communication is also dangerous. Sometimes poor communication is also dangerous. So it is absolutely said that you have to have appropriate communication cycles defined with this, and you should have separate, efforts or separate time to really do the communication with various stakeholders. When I write to my management, my English should be correct. My sentence should be correct, its meaning should be correct, because that person is not technical person, may not be, so he may not understand my technology language. So if I do abbreviations and say that this is, so we are using AD model and we will be using blended delivery, so he said, boss, I understand nothing out of it. I understand nothing because I don't know your words and abbreviations and what is the long form of that and what these models are. But when I wanted to tell it to my instructional designers or my this one, I will write that because that's something which is well connected to them. They will appreciate that. Okay. So the point is that communication has to be handled with various aspects of it. One is frequency, other is channels, then who to, I mean, so all the timelines, frequency, channel, trigger, in case of any issues which are going to impact to the cost and the project, how it is to be communicated to the end customer. If somebody, suppose somebody is doing interior work in your home, okay, suddenly he realized that there is a something need to be added or something need to be changed, material has to be changed and the cost is increasing.